Hey folks, this is BestInSlot. Welcome back to my day of Jurassic World Evolution 2 coverage. In this video, I'm going to showcase all 9 sandbox maps in the game. This way you'll know exactly what you'll be able to build on. Maybe you'll be able to plan out some parks off your own for when the game launches come Tuesday. You will need to unlock these maps though. Canada, Germany, United Kingdom, Northwest and Southwest USA are all challenge mode maps. You'll have to do a little bit of challenge mode to get hold of these, but you only need a few stars. You can do it on easy. It's a pretty simple thing to do. The others will require you to do a little bit of Chaos Theory mode instead. That's Isla Nublar 1993, San Diego, Isla Sorna Site B, and Isla Nublar 2015. There's no campaign maps here, but there's some very cool maps in the campaign, so I'm hoping they get added a little bit later on. The maps are once again ranked by size from small to large, and the United Kingdom, good old Blighty, is the only small map, so we're going to go through them all from smallest to relatively largest, and you guys can hopefully plan out your parks ahead of time. Let's get started. So the UK is oddly like Isla Penna. It's a temperate map by the looks of things, and it does seem to be lightly modelled on the White Cliffs of Dover because of these, well, white cliffs. Here is the sea, so it's a coastal map. Over there would actually be France. You can actually see it on a clear day, if I recall correctly. And it's split into 3 main sections. You've got a buildable area here, as you can see. I'll pop out there. A decent size, nothing humongous. And then we trot along this little ridge down here. We've got another buildable area here at the side, and then this bit's pretty cool, and this is where the Penna comparison comes in. You trot along here, you go down this tiny little path, and then there's an extra section over here with a little inlet, again right by the sea. This isn't one of the maps where you can build on the actual beach. As you can see, it's all kind of restrained to the cliff tops, but still a pretty little map in my opinion, and not that small for a small. 3 decent sized building areas. Next up then we have the medium sized Tiger map in Canada, right here on the waterfront. These huge rolling mountains with the snow coursing down them in the distance. This is actually the first map you'll be playing on when it comes to challenge mode, and we can get a good look at the size of it. Again, it's kind of split into parts, but this is the main chunky building area right here. It goes right from the water's edge. As you can see, you can build right up to here, all the way down to this water's edge over here. So that entire area is buildable, and then you've got a little bit more at the side. If you want to take advantage of that, you can definitely see how this is a step above the UK. And we even have a little bit more over here at this side as well. So a decent sized map for a medium. Feels bigger than some of the largest to me, which is a little crazy, but there you go. And a really, really beautiful view. The integration of challenge mode into getting its own maps and stuff has opened up the game in a really cool way. Our next medium map then is the Northwest USA. This one isn't Tiger, this is actually Alpine, and I've got to say you can feel the difference a little bit more than I thought you could in terms of the coloration of the trees and the grass, and also just the location. Look at where this map is. Something that never would have been doable back in Jurassic World Evolution, and now we can look out from the top of this canyon. I think it is absolutely fantastic looking. In terms of map size, it does seem a little bit smaller than Canada to me. We've got this buildable area here on the right at the cliff edge, and a little inlet over there. You can head forward. There's a bit of a gap in the middle that you can't build on this section here, but you can build on top of it. You can't build just through it. You have to build around it and on top of it. And then we've got a whole other section over here at the top, as you can see, and that leads on to yet another little section over here on the right hand side. You can see how they're all actually on slightly different levels, a little bit like Isla Nublar back in Isla Nublar 2018 or whatever it was called back on Jurassic World Evolution. So 3-tiered kind of approach, all again connected by these little paths, but a decent sized building area in each one, you would think. And a really nice atmosphere. We are right up here in the mountains, in the snow. I think that's going to look very, very cool, especially during snowstorms. Can't wait to give this one a proper go in sandbox mode. Back to America now for San Diego. It does indeed make it in sandbox mode. We've got the paths and stuff still here as well. And the amphitheater, of course, makes its return. Very cool. You can't place this down yourself as far as I've been able to see in the other modes. That would be nice if we could get that. But it's pretty cool that we have access to this in sandbox at all. Of course, you can see San Diego itself and the bridge over there in the distance. And it's a big, chunky desert map right here on the water's edge again. This entire area is buildable. absolutely humongous. And we even get this extra area here at the side, which we didn't really get to see during Chaos Theory because you had to unlock it, but it's sandbox mode. This is fairly gigantic. I would suggest that this buildable space is potentially bigger than any map we had back in Jurassic World Evolution 1. And this is only a medium, ladies and gentlemen. If it's not, it's close. Isla Nublar might have been a little bit bigger, the later version, but still, a very cool desert map. Lots and lots of space to play with. And look, nice and flat right from the get-go. I think Frontier have maybe learned from what we were doing in the last game, where we had to go through and flatten every single map to make it ideal to build on. Our final medium map then is Isla Sorna Site B, i.e. the setting of Jurassic Park 3 and the Lost World Jurassic Park. And, you know, again, those Isla Sorna mountains in the distance. Just, I feel like all the maps have this much greater sense of scale and depth than they ever did in the first game. This here is your main buildable area from this lake down to the coastline. If we zoom out, you can get a good feel for that. And again, like a lot of the maps, it is split up a little bit. We've got another little hidden away section, a little sort of secret beach over here, which is pretty cool, but obviously this here is the buildable bit. And a little bit further this way, and again, all flat, it's worth pointing out here on sandbox mode, and I really do think that's going to help people out. We've got a fairly chunky building area here as well. Now, of course, there has to be a little detail. This is an important map. It's Site B, and over here from Jurassic Park 3, we actually have the airstrip that they land on at the start of the film, which is a really cool little detail. So you can actually build here, maybe have your Spinosaurus habitat right here, make it nice and thematically appropriate. That's all the medium maps. We're going to move on to the large. We're going to kick things off in Germany with this temperate map, maybe the largest in the game by my feeling. We'll have to see by the end how we feel about that, but it's right here again on the coastline. They like to do that this time. We've got this ginormous initial building area that goes all the way from down here, all the way along here, all the way along here, and actually ends over here in this corner. As you can see, a gigantic area to build in. This is one of the earlier challenge maps as well, so you will be able to get hold of this nice and early. We've got a little inlet little area over here, a little hidden away section in the cliff lines, as you can see. And then we can actually move a little bit further down this way if we follow the path down here and build on this really cool little coastal area. You can see just how close we can get to the edge of the water, like so. Really cool place for, say, your lagoons or something like that. Look how close we are to the water's edge. It's just where it starts to drop. You can even see the spattering of the water on the edge of the land. And this area here goes all the way over here as well. Germany is a gigantic map, and I think maybe one of the more popular ones to build on. I think this is going to prove to be a big deal for people. I'm very excited to build down here, it must be said, again in sandbox mode. Those Germans, always so efficient and talented, aren't they? It's crazy. Our next large map is the Southwest USA, and is probably the funkiest map in the game. Very funky, it hits the clubs, does what it does. So it's a desert map, of course, and I think this is one people will love building on once. I don't think it's going to be a popular staple in Sandbox for a long time, but I think it's going to be a really interesting challenge, because as you can see, it is a humongous area. There's loads of buildable area all the way along here, right up to the edge of the cliff, and then we've got this valley with a river running down there at the bottom. So a really cool location to build in. It's almost like the Grand Canyon. But if we hop into the map, you can see what I mean, in that the map is insanely broken up. There's loads and loads. It's basically like Isla Sorna from Jurassic World Evolution's original version, but turned up to 11. There's tons of little things you have to build around. Again, more little valleys with little rivers in them. Lots and lots of cliff faces, cliff edges to build around. Lots of little jutting out pieces. But the actual buildable area is clearly gigantic. It's absolutely humongous. And I think some zoos in here... Again, I'm really excited to build on this one, I've got to say. It's pretty hype. So the map starts right down here at the bottom with this little pond, and you can follow it all the way along here. Obviously tons of room over there as well, all the way down here to right against the edge of this cliff, and I do mean right against the edge of this cliff. I don't know what's going on there, that's a little funky, but yeah, a really interesting, unique map here. Next up we have Isla Nublar 1993, of course the setting of the OG Jurassic Park, and you start right down here in this corner. You can come forward, there's a little bit of a jutting out bit there, but that leads all the way. This whole area here is buildable space, all this wide open tropical grassland perfect for building in. I'll show you on the map in a sec. But you can also build in this little area over here. Of course, perfect for a rival station right next to the waterfall, which is ripped from Jurassic Park. So you've got all this big space here. It is a humongous building area. I assume they're categorized by actual building area, and that Frontier have the actual numbers at hand, and that's why this gets classified as large. But there's also this little bit over here, which I actually never saw in my Chaos theory quite yet, and yeah, nice little hidden area here, a little bit lower. They like messing with the terrain levels. Again, it's relatively flat, and that looks out against the Isla Nublar 1993 valley. And it's beautiful. I'm hoping there's Pteranodons flying overhead. I haven't seen any yet, but my fingers are still crossed. The final large map and the final map in the game is Isla Nublar 2015, so you'll want to go play the Jurassic World Chaos Theory for this, but it does come with the monorail arrival point. It comes with our Jurassic World exit entrance sign thingamajiggy over there, and of course the monorail tunnel heading into the mountain. In the Chaos Theory, there's this little bit over here that you can't edit, and that's where the control center stands, and that's meant to be Simon Masrani's control center and the Jurassic World control center. And then that links in. You can see if we hop into here, you can actually build along here. So despite this being like, looks like it's part that you wouldn't be able to build on, you could put that up there, drag a path down here, and link that all together. But let's take a look at the size. We've got a humongous building area here, and it's probably going to be the favorite for sandbox maps where you want to do whatever you want, because there's no funny bits, there's no little hidey holes, there's nothing breaking it up. It is just one big slab of building area from here all the way along to around here, I assume. Yeah, there you go. So really tons and tons of room to play with here on Jurassic World Isla Nublar. And I'm not sure which I think is the biggest. It's probably not this one. My money might be on Germany, but this is humongous. It may not even look that big, but if you look at the size of the monorail from here, you can really get a sense of scale for Isla Nublar 2015. So, going to be a popular choice, I think, just by nature of being nice and flat and ready to go in one big chunky chunk. That's it from me then. Those are the 9 sandbox maps. As I say, there's some pretty cool maps in the campaign that I'd really like to see brought into this mode. Personally, I'm most excited to build in the Southwest USA. I think this map in Germany might end up the maps I use most often for Sandbox, but we'll have to wait and see. This time it's not just map size that matters, it depends on the theme of the park as well. Some really cool stuff. Oh, and the Alpine map as well. Actually, that one might be the most exciting for me. Let me know which one you're most excited for in the comment section down below. And remember to also drop me a comment about what you'd be most excited to see covered in the next few days. Is there anything in Jurassic World Evolution 2 that you want to know about before the game comes out on Tuesday? Throw that comment down below. Like similar comments, the most popular suggestions will be made into videos. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you again very soon. Throw me a like if you enjoyed the video. Cheers much as always. Bye-bye.
Reaching out.